Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Mark, a trainer here at WEX Field Service Management, and today we are covering creating invoices and proposals. This webinar will cover what job forms are in your system, recommended job form settings, where to create job forms. We'll look at creating proposals, the copy it versus new feature, creating invoices, how to convert to invoice, job form reporting, and a live Q&A at the end where you'll be able to get your questions answered live on stream. Let's go ahead and dive into WEX FSM now. We are starting in the system on a job. So I simply typed the customer's name here, Justin. I went to their customer profile page and I just opened a job from their page. Each job, you are able to create proposals in the proposals and financing section, and you can create invoices in the invoices and payments section. Now, when you want to create a proposal, you have the option to create one from scratch, brand new, by clicking new, or you can copy from existing with the copy button. The PDF icon here, there's a little icon that you can click on, and that will give you a PDF view of what the proposal looks like. Each proposal will allow you to have your logo at the top. It will let you know the job form name, which, by the way, when we say job forms, we are talking about invoices, proposals, purchase orders, the actual forms that you're filling out and using with your customers to do the job. So, proposal, was it, accepted, declined, signed, etc. And then any details that you would have included, like financing, items from your price book, parts, labor, warranties, contract terms, etc., will all show here. After you have created a proposal, you will see those here. You'll be able to update the statuses, and you can convert any proposal to an invoice right from here, clicking convert to invoice. Down below, we have invoices. Those are the same in terms of you can click on the PDF and view the PDF of the invoice. If you click convert to invoice, it will create a invoice down below, and you'll see that in this section here. Essentially, it's taking all of the information from the proposal and turning that into an invoice. The difference between proposals and invoices, the process is exactly the same in terms of creation. When you are on there, you'll be able to add items the exact same way from your price book. But the biggest difference is proposals are meant to be shown as an estimate that is work to be done in the future, and you cannot take payment on a proposal. You would need to convert it to an invoice, and then invoices allow you to take payment. Now, that is just a quick overview of what you will find on the jobs as it relates to proposals and invoices. And before we actually start creating job forms, which we're going to do a couple examples, we're going to build some together. But before we do that, I always recommend you're updating your job form settings. So these are settings that will relate to how your invoices and proposals will look in your system. So we have a couple places we're going to go to. We will start with settings, jobs, and business details. And we're actually going to go through this entire list. So we're going to start with business details. This page has, as you may have guessed, all of your business details. This is going to allow you to update your company name, the address, your email. Maybe when you signed up, you used a personal email, but you don't want your uh, customers to see that. You want your business email. Just make sure that all this info is correct here. Then this is where you upload your logo. We saw that earlier on the proposals and invoices. Whatever logo you add here will show up on those job forms. You just choose your file, upload, and you'll see it here. When you're done, make sure you hit save. Next, let's go to settings, jobs, contract terms. The contract terms page allows you to create the legal stuff. This is the contracts for each job that you do. Maybe you have a very simple singular service that you do, and you only need one contract term to rule them all. And that would be like a general terms and conditions. And you'll just want to add any terms that you want your customers to agree to when working with them. However, maybe you have multiple different types of jobs and you can create terms for each job type. Then, when you are on the invoices and proposals, there's a contract terms section. It will default to whatever you set the default preferences on this page. So, like if I create an invoice, it's going to automatically add the general terms. But if I make a proposal, it's going to add the proposal terms. To add new terms, you will click Create New Terms, enter the name of the terms and the description. This is customer facing. They will see this on your proposals and invoices. If you already have this written out, you can copy and paste it here. You could write it, like type it in here manually. And then this is where you can make these terms default for the appropriate job form. When you're done, hit save. That will update your list here. And then on proposals and invoices, these will be the selections available when selecting contract terms. Next, we're going to go to settings, jobs, job preferences. This allows you to control a number of things, but what we're going to focus on right now is job forms right here. These are items that you can either show or hide to make the look of your job forms custom to what you want. So the question is, do you want your proposals and invoices to show the location name that you're working at? Do you want to show model numbers, unit prices, maintenance plan savings? A little note on the maintenance plan savings. If a customer is a maintenance plan customer, it will show a little red area on your proposals and invoices that says savings, and it will show the savings that comes from the maintenance plan discount or pricing strategy you have in your system. If this is if they are not a maintenance plan customer, it will show the red bar of savings, but it will say available savings, which is a good way to entice your customer to then sign up for a maintenance plan. However, you may be looking at that savings and say, I don't want to show any savings on this job. So, I guess, well, for this, if you turn this off, this will just remove the maintenance plan savings visual indicator on all job forms. So that's how you turn that off from here. And then do you want to show billing address name, product number, line amounts, and quantities? And those are just some options that you will be able to choose. If I have, for example, show line item amounts and quantities off, it will not show the individual line item prices. It will just show the individual line item name and descriptions. nothing on the right side, and then at the bottom there will just be one total. Maybe you don't want to show how much each item costs. You just want one price to show the customer. So that is up to you. Updating that here. Just make sure you always scroll down and click save. Next, let's go to job types. So we'll go to settings, jobs, job types. Now, job types relate more to the total job itself, and you can filter reports by job type. So, as it relates to proposals and invoices, when I'm creating a new job, because I'm going to make a proposal, you will need to select a job type. And it's kind of an example here. Let's say you, on certain commercial jobs, you are doing those jobs, big jobs, in phases. And you're going to want to bill out in a progress billing model, which means you're going to show the entire work, you're going to show each phase, and the customer will pay for each phase after it finishes. If you create a progress billing job type, then in your reporting, you can filter by the progress billing job type, and then all your jobs that have progress billing will show up. So that is one way to help you kind of track your job forms through the job type reporting filters. Next, let's go to settings, jobs, payment terms. Now, the payment terms, this is just the terms of payment for each job. If you are doing single family home residential one and done, you go out, you do the job, it's time for them to pay. You'll most likely have due on receipt as your default. If you work with mainly commercial companies and they're paying, the billing office is paying more of a net 30 or net 60, you can always just click on the payment term and make a new default and hit save. To create a new payment term, you'll click New Payment Terms and you just enter the name and how many days they have to pay and hit save. If you're syncing to QuickBooks, if you do have payment terms in your QuickBooks, those will sync to WEX FSM. All right. So those are what we just went over are kind of like admin settings that we recommend you take a look at and adjust based on your preferences. I also recommend just making sure that you have the items you know you're going to add to your proposals and invoices ready to go. One of the most important ones is your price book. And so if you go to more applications, price book, my price book, that will bring you to your price book and you will see all your items here. And the way that you set up your price book is how you will see that when you add items to your proposals and invoices. Now, we're not going to do an overview of how to build a price book today, but if you are interested in that, you can go down to the Help Center and either simply search for, price book, how to create and manage, a price book video course and overview. A lot of ways to learn about price book here from the help tab, or you can go to home, video courses and webinars. And if you want to attend a live training like you are doing now, you can check the calendar here or go down below and we have Build and Manage Price Book, which is a video course. I'm going to mention this in just a second, but this is also where you would find info about selling and tracking maintenance plans. And then we have our past webinars if you do want to watch the replays for price book and for maintenance plans. And that is the next thing I do recommend setting up is if you know you're going to offer maintenance plans, you can offer maintenance plans on proposals and invoices, but that does need to be set up first in order for that to show up correctly when you're building your job forms. And to update your maintenance plans, you'll go to more applications, maintenance plans. And same tip, we're not gonna do a full overview of maintenance plans today, but this is where you would set them up. And you can always go to the Help Center and either search for help or go to video courses and webinars and dive deeper into that topic. Okay. And so as long as you've got, your business details, your contract terms, your job preferences, how those job forms are going to look, your job types for cleaner reporting, your payment terms, and things like your price book, your maintenance plans, maybe even getting financing set up. Anything that you know you're going to add to your job forms, it's always good to get those set up first. All right. And now let's show there's a couple different ways that you can actually create invoices and proposals. And let's do an example of that now. Oh, I skipped a tab on accident. One final setting that I would check is warranties. And so if you go to more applications, price book, warranties. This is another area that you would want to set up ahead of time. That way, when you are, creating your invoices and proposals, the warranties are already made and they'll just automatically be added as you add items. But, do you offer any warranties, parts warranty, labor warranties, whatever it is? You will click New Warranty, add in the information, and hit Save. Then, whether you're creating your price book items or creating proposals and invoices, these will be the selections available when adding a warranty. So you can close out a couple of these pages. Okay, so I want to now create a proposal, let's say. If you want to create a proposal, one way that you can do this is from the customer page. So I just talked with, my customer. I'm in the office. I'm going to build out an estimate for you, and then, we'll send it to you. You will type in the customer's name to go to their profile page. And then from their profile page, in order to create a proposal or invoice, that must be done inside of a job. So we're going to create a job first by clicking Create New Job Form. A couple options here. So we do want to create a new job. And here's the job types we were talking about earlier. And then job name, we're going to just name the job. Let's say we'll do an install. And then here you have some options to create a job with a proposal or create a job with an invoice. You can also create a job with no proposal or invoices. It's just an empty job folder, and then you can add those items later. So for this example, let's go ahead and create a job, and then we'll create a new job form. And so we'll hit Save Job. And there we go. Now we are on a job. This is an example of what we were looking at earlier, but this is brand new and fresh. So we don't have any proposals yet. We don't have any invoices yet. Let's now create a proposal. So, proposals and financing section, we will either create new or copy from existing. Now, I do want to show you copy from existing. So if you want to copy a previous proposal that you've made, click copy. It will first show you your favorites. And this is actually very handy. So when you are creating a proposal and you go, this is a great proposal, and to be honest, I do this exact same install very often. So I'm going to favorite this proposal and I'm also going to name it. And then later, when you go to copy, it's very easy to know. Oh, okay, this is a mini split install. That's great. If you want to copy this, you just tap or click on the job form you want to copy. It'll pull everything from the previous proposal and make a new one with that information and add the new customer information. This now is a unique job form. You can update this as you want. But the nice thing about using the copy feature is that you don't have to update it. It's already set from the last time you did this job type. All right, so that is copying. Let's go ahead and just save and close here because I want to show you how to build one from scratch. So to create a new proposal, let's click New. And now we are in the build mode for the proposal. Uh, at the very top, this is where you can mark this as a favorite if you want. And I do want to point out there are some pricing settings at the top. If we click pricing settings, this allows us to update the pricing strategy for this job. Justin, our customer here, is a maintenance plan customer, so he's getting the maintenance plan customer price. Maintenance plan pricing, do you want the maintenance plan pricing to show like the discount to show visually? And then line item quantity and prices and line item unit prices. You have just some options to hide those visually if you want. Then we have right here, this section on the right, you have the job name, the proposal name. So this comes in handy if you want to copy. Let's just say, we'll name this, install proposal and save. And if we favorite it, when I go to copy, I'll be able to say, oh, this is my install proposal. Cool. And then if you want to give credit to your technician, let's say, for doing this proposal, you can assign a technician. And there's a custom field here. So maybe not for every job, but maybe you're working with a company that very specifically needs to see your, uh, you know, company number, or there needs to be a work order number. Whatever it is, you can add custom field here. You could even put have a nice day if you want and hit save. Each proposal that you create, you can add a featured image, and that image will show when you present this or use this proposal in a comparison. So click on featured image. You can either pull from your library or images from your price book. You can also upload images right here. And so let's go ahead and add this image. And now it's time to add items from our price book. So we're going to click add item. And when you're on here, this will show you your different price books in your system. Everyone has from price book, and that is just your main price book in your system, the WEX FSM integrated price book. Flat rate price book is Profit Rhino if you are going to purchase that add-on subscription for the flat rate pricing, you will see that price book here. And if you're syncing to your QuickBooks item list will sync up. So you'll see your item list here. For today's example, we'll just use the regular price book. You can search for items by typing a key term. Let's say I'm looking for a dual mini split, or let's add a general part. So I see here's the general part that I want. So I'll go ahead and select that to add it to my queue. So an important thing to know, when you're adding items here, you can select multiple items at a time, which is great. And just know that the order that they will be put on the job form is the order you select them. So we just added a general part. Maybe I want to use my price book folders instead of searching. The search comes in really handy. You just type in the key term and then it pulls up. But if you are very organized in your folders, maybe you prefer looking through here. So we're going to look for a general labor. Let's go to general. Let's go to service. And then here is my general labor. And as I select this, you'll see the added items go to 2. And that's good to go. Let's go ahead and add these. Once you add the items, here's that maintenance plan savings we were talking about earlier, which is nice to show if you want your customer to feel good. Hey, you saved 30 bucks for today for being a part of our Comfort Club plan. If you want to make an edit to an item, you just click on the name and edit the name, description, quantity, pricing, and then click update. Now, if you want to add a recommended item, we know that these items are coming from the price book, but I want to recommend something in addition to what we're charging them today. To do this, you will go down and hit Add Recommended Item and follow the same process as before. Let's say we want to recommend a filter change. We'll add that here and hit Add Item. And that will show up when we present this as a recommendation. Now, let's go ahead to showcase financing. Now, something about financing right here, you can see select a financing product. Financing is a great way to, well, really, it's a win-win for both you and your customer. Your customer desperately needs a new system, let's say, and they can't afford it. But if they sign up for financing, then it allows them to pay lower monthly payments. So your customer is able to get the service that they need, and you are able to get the job and get paid for doing that. Select a financing product, though, does require the amount to be over $1,000. And let's go ahead and just add, I think I literally called it big ol' install. Yep. So let's just add an install here and we'll just up the price. So there we go. Okay. And so now we have a sizable amount that this job is. This is something maybe we want to offer financing for. So to offer financing, select a financing product, select the loan that you want to offer your customer. Let's say no interest if paid in full in 12 months. And then once you have this selected, you'll just hit save. Now this first will add like a recommended item. When you're presenting this, you'll then be able to say, today it'll be 11/2/29/08. But if you sign up for financing, then you could pay $935.75 a month, and you kind of explaining this to them. If the customer agrees, hey, this is great, let's go ahead and do it, you'll hit continue to apply. And from here, this will then bring you to the financing calculator. And now it's really just your customer filling out the information. So if you're there with them, you could turn your device around and let them fill this out. You could also send the proposal to the customer and they can read and apply online. And it is instant approval. So once they submit the application, you'll know whether or not they are approved. If they're not approved, they will get a message from the lender letting them know why. All right. So that's adding financing. We're not going to actually do an application today, as this is a test account. And so let's go back to, there we go. Let's go back to our proposal. Okay. We've added a financing product. If you want to sign the customer up for a maintenance plan. Now, we're doing a lot of examples back to back. Maybe there is a customer that you're going to offer multiple items and financing and maintenance plans and recommendations and everything. Just know you don't have to do all of this for each job. So if you want to add a maintenance plan, this customer is already a maintenance plan customer. Let's get rid of that. If they are not a maintenance plan customer, it will say recommend a maintenance plan. If they are a maintenance plan customer, it will say recommend an additional maintenance plan. Either way, to add a maintenance plan to the job form, you will click recommend a maintenance plan. Remember, we mentioned earlier, it is good to get your maintenance plan set up because now I just pick which of these I need. We know we're about to install a two systems, and so let's select the two system residential comfort club, and then hit save. All of these are very similar the way that they work. You add them. They are now a recommendation to start. I'm explaining with the customer. All right. And so today, if you sign up for our maintenance plan, you'll get 10% off on future services. We'll be able to check this equipment we're about to install. And if they say yes, you'll hit sign up now. And now you're just running through the contract. Is this correct? If your templates are already set up, you don't need to make changes here. So this is good to go. You can have the customer sign if you want. If not, that doesn't stop you from moving forward. Let's hit next. These are your service windows. Just confirm that this is correct. Reminders is who the person, in the office who's doing the scheduling, who will they need to reach out to schedule the maintenance visit. And then payment, we want them to pay on the invoice that we convert to from this proposal. So we're going to add it as a product on the proposal and hit done. And what this does, it has moved it from the kind of recommended area and actually added it to the product section. So now we're officially charging them for a maintenance plan. All right. And then notes, these are customer facing. So any notes or any message that you want your customer to see when they're reviewing this proposal, you put here. And something also is if you are adding warranties, the warranty, if it's attached to the price book item, it will pull in and save here, which is what has happened. But you can update this with the drop down. Same for contract terms. Remember, we set up our contract terms page earlier. Here's all the contract terms we can select from here. And now we are ready to present, convert to invoice, or send. or save and close. So let's say that you build this out from the office, it's ready to go, but you're going to have your technician actually present this out in the field. You can just hit save and close. It won't send it to the customer, and it'll just save on file for your technician to pick it up in the field and show it to the customer. If you're standing with the customer, you can go to present mode. And this is the present mode from desktop. So maybe you're using a laptop out in the field. You turn the laptop around, you can show them. This is what we're looking at today. The customer can sign and accept or decline the proposal from here. Uh, if they are not with you and you want to send it to them, you can send. Select who you want to send it to and hit send proposal. Once the customer receives the proposal, they'll be able to read everything on it, see the terms, and accept or decline. Whatever response they have to that proposal, you will receive a message letting you know, and then you can come in and convert to invoice. Now, you can convert to invoice instantly, like we just built this, we're presenting it, customer says, let's go ahead and I'll pay up front. That's great. You just convert to invoice in the moment. Typically, you're going to be converting to invoice after the job's done. So let's save and close. But that is the run through of a proposal. And now we will convert to invoice. So here is our proposal. We're going to convert to invoice. Just click on convert to invoice. From here, this will allow a couple options. So total proposed amount is we're ready to charge them everything in full right now. As a percentage of the total proposed amount, this is if you're going to do progress billing. So just a very simple scenario. This project has 4 phases. We're going to charge you 25% of the total job per phase, equaling 100%. So I would say I want to convert to invoice as 25% of the total, and you can convert that out. And you would do that convert to invoice process 4 times in this example to create 4 25% invoices. So that's progress billing. You can also just select yourself manually by item. For today's example, we'll do total proposed amount. We're going to convert this to an invoice with everything on it. Convert to invoice. This one is now converting that proposal into a invoice document. And honestly, everything that we went over on the proposal, except for the taking payment part, is the same. Pricing settings is the same. Mark is favorite, technician name, uh, even adding items. If you want to add items to an invoice, it's the exact same as adding items to a proposal. If you need to make any changes after you convert to invoice to the invoice here, just click and make edits as needed. And it won't update the previous job form. So the proposal will stay intact. And then from here, we've got some different options to take payment. And now this would officially conclude the job. Pay now will allow you to process through WEX FSM, sending the money to your bank account. Record payment is if you're going to record outside of WEX FSM. A good example of that is if someone is making like a cash payment, you'll still need to take that to the bank, but you want to record a documentation that you took the payment. And of course, you can send it to the customer, they can review and make a payment online. And if you want to delete completely, this will delete it and erase it from your system. Okay, So in this scenario, let's go ahead and record a payment on the invoice. So record payment. It if the customer does not sign, that's fine. You can just bypass that by hitting yes here. Of course, we always recommend getting a signature to protect yourself, but if they don't, that's fine. They're going to pay for this invoice today. Let's scroll down. Let's say they're paying with a check. Let's add the check number and record payment. And there you go. If we scroll down, we can see invoices paid. And here's the payment for that. Let me double check my notes before we move on. All right. So I believe, oh, sorry. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So the last thing we're going to do before we get into our Q&A is reporting. We're going to look at some reports so you can see how to track and manage your job forms in bulk. Let's go here. So we're going to start with some lists. Let's go to jobs, proposal list. And the proposal list, it's a big list of all your proposals in your system. You can see the customer information. You can actually click in these proposal numbers. You click on that and it will allow you to edit the proposal. You can see that this one is grayed out. I can't edit this. I can't click on it. That's because it's signed. You can only edit in open draft state. You can also search for proposals here and quickly go out to the job if you want um, and kind of look further into that. But that is proposals. Next, let's go to jobs, invoice list. And this is a place where you'll see all your invoices in your system. And the invoice list, this is I would recommend coming here if you're syncing to QuickBooks. If you notice you created an invoice and it didn't sync over and you can't find it in QuickBooks, if you come here, it may be in a not ready status. If you see something that's not ready, that means something is missing from the invoice, preventing it from syncing. So we'll click details to troubleshoot. And most of the time, it's like, I need a tax group. I need an income account. So this says we need an income account for this item. So we'll just select the account. There's a couple in here. Cool. I have provided what it wants. And then, oh, I think I need to, hold on, let me see this. A tax group is required to sync. Update the tax group for this invoice. Oh, okay. Well, good teachable moment here. So we can't update the tax group. So let's get out of here. And this invoice is closed. So if I want to update the tax group, I would then change it to open draft, go back to details, and now I can update the tax group and the income accounts. So if you do run into that, it's like preventing you. That's most likely because it is in a closed state rather than open draft. So I've just added all the things that it wants to sync, and now we'll hit save. So this invoice on the next sync will go from ready to synced after it is finished syncing. Next, let's look at let's look at some reporting. So we're going to go to reporting in the main navigation. And the reports that I would recommend looking at to look at proposals in invoices are going to be the proposals report, which is right here under jobs, proposals. We'll also look at the receivables report, which is under accounting, receivables, and the job summary report, which is under jobs, job summary. First, proposals report. This is great for tracking your close rate. Proposals are unique in that it is a job that will be done in the future. We are getting an estimate together of what the job will be, and the customer may potentially say no to that proposal. If you are marking your jobs as opportunities, then it will consider that proposal that's created for that job in the opportunities calculation for your close rate. And what do I mean by this? Let's go back to our job. So when you're on a job, right here it says opportunity. If this is on, any proposals I create will be counted as an opportunity. And if it's accepted, that is a win. And if it's declined, that is a loss. And that's it. Just make sure opportunity is turned on if you want the proposal here to count in that close rate calculation. Then from the proposals report, this is where you'll see your close rate, and that's just based on sales opportunities versus sales opportunities won. So that's proposals report. Receivables, this is a great place to see all your receivables, but also to send out payment reminders. So I'm creating a ton of invoices in my system. I'm sending those out to customers so they can pay. This will show you payment status. You can see paid, unpaid. And what we want to look for is overdue. If I select overdue, now I am able to see these are all of the invoices in my system that are past the due date. And we'll just select all and send invoices. That sends out a payment reminder, and it's really nice when a lot of customers pay their bill all at one time. Last, we will look at the job summary report. This is going to let you know if any proposals were signed and were they converted to an invoice. So, if your business really uses a lot of proposals, it can be hard to keep track of, who's accepted, who's declined. And I want to know who has signed it, and now we got to do the work. So this is a great place to check for that. Let's take a look at all of our signed proposals and just make sure that those have been, converted to invoice if the job's done. Okay. That is all the information that we have for today's presentation. I hope that you learned something. My name is Mark with WEX Field Service Management, and this has been Creating Invoices and Proposals.